Welcome, everyone, to another segment of Toni Talks. I am one of your co-hosts, Brian Bacchus, and we're going to get right to the point, so I'm out of here.
I'm another co-host, Jamal Smith. Welcome to episode 153. And Toni has some very special guests, so I am going to zoom on out of here and let her kind of take over. So I'll leave it to Toni.
Thanks, Jamal and Brian. Good morning, everyone. This morning, I do have, can you put me down at the bottom, maybe? There, that's better. And I'll have our guest up top side by side. I have Vako Artinian, is that correct? And Santo, you're going to have to say it. Riccobono. Perfect. Thank you. With me from Wildfire Recovery Attorneys. They are attorneys that do wildfire recovery. Obviously, that's their name, right? But I wanted to bring them on because, as I was saying yesterday, I met Vako recently at PCC at an Altadena Rising event that was kind of all roundtable. We got together to talk about the needs of the community, what we're seeing, what we're hearing, and then brainstorm is a better word on what is still needed, how we can all partner together to make sure our community has what they need. So, Vako, I'm going to let you start just because I met you there. And as I told people last week and yesterday, when I met you, you kind of put me in check real quick because we were writing on these sticky notes and I was telling, what is his name? Whatever, who was like, no, you got to do this. And I was like, no, that's not right. It should be this and this. And then you came up behind and you were like, actually, it should be this. And I was like, no. And you were like, yeah, I'm an attorney. And so I was like, oh, okay, well, you're the expert. You know, I don't know. So that was great because you did have that insight and you were there. And then we exchanged numbers. We talked about the show, which you were aware of. And I talked about having you on. So I'm super happy that you and Santo could make the time today and come on. So if you could introduce yourself and tell us about your connection to Altadena, and then we'll ping pong it over to Santo and we'll go from there and get started talking.
Yeah, thank you, Toni, for having us. I'm really excited to be here. And that meeting that we met a couple of months ago was a really great one. It really showed me how deep the roots go in Altadena, and all the children of all these generations of people in Altadena are coming together to support each other. It's a really beautiful thing to see. And a little bit about myself. I'm actually an Altadena resident for 12 years. I was there during the whole thing. I was on my roof with a hose trying to keep my house from burning down. And then days after that, just chasing looters off, and just, it was a really hard time. And when things started to calm down a little bit, I just started doing community outreach. I started volunteering. I started posting, come here for donations, come here for that. And, it filled my cup. So serendipitously, I got in connections with this law firm, Wildfire Recovery Attorneys. It's an amazing law firm. It's one of the leadership firms, which is really hard to get that status in court. There's over 160 firms involved in the lawsuit, and we're one of the firms that is in the leadership that steers the way for the lawsuit. So, so we do a lot of community outreach. We do a lot of support to the community out there. Like, for example, we out here every Wednesday at Fair Oaks Burger. We're helping with the food distribution, with the donations and things like that. We're passionate about helping. We're here to support, and that's in a nutshell. That's who I am, and the Wildfire Attorneys group that would join.
Thank you. And Santo, please come on in the room. We're going to switch spaces with you two and tell us more about you and you being one of the lead law firms and lead attorneys on this, because I believe it's either yours or your co-partner or a partner or something. But tell us a little bit about you and your history with wildfires, right? And litigating wildfires.
Yeah, so I'm Santo Riccobono, and my law firm is actually Ellis Riccobono, LLP. Wildfire Recovery Attorneys is actually a group of 3 law firms that get together and handle these kinds of cases during the big wildfires like this. Some of the small wildfires, we handle them individually, but for big ones where we need extra attention for our clients, we come together and work together.
Nice.
I know the partners from the other firms. We actually all went to law school together. So we go way back, and it's a good good group of folks that truly care. I actually, I live up in Ventura County, and during the Woolsey fire in 2018, I actually had to evacuate too, with my 2 young kids and 2 dogs and wife and all that. So I actually
You understand it.
Yeah, I understand it. I know how scary and traumatic these kinds of things are.
Well, thank you both for being here. I heard you saying you evacuated. Obviously, your house didn't burn down. It sounds like you went back home. And Vako, you were on your roof and chasing people, looters or whatever, away later, which means your house didn't burn down in Altadena either. And welcome to Altadena. I think I kind of razzed you or teased you about it. I said, oh, you're a new Altadenian. Being 12 years in, because, you know, I've been Altadenian since 1968 when I was 2.5, and we moved from Pasadena Avenue by the Rose Bowl. And then Brian and Jamal have been there since they were toddlers or in elementary school, 8 years old or something as well. So we're kind of the old school, and our parents are the older school. Like, we've been Altadenians and connected to Altadena for so many years, or decades, I should say. So thank you both for being willing to jump in and help. Obviously, it's your community, Vako, as well. And Santo, you have experienced this with that Woolsey fire, and you understand and know what it's like. Even the recovery afterwards, even though your house didn't burn, you saw plenty of neighbors probably that lost their homes, and you understand the trauma, the emotion, the heartbreak, you know, all of that. And to see our elderly going through what they're going through because of this is really tough. I've talked several times about seeing my father, who just turned 88 in May, deteriorate mentally or whatever, you know, since this. And so it's very tough. And seeing like my elementary school gone, my park burned down, because I grew up right by Farnsworth Park. And so to see like the amphitheater, the building up there, everything just like no more. And my junior high school, Elliott, our junior high school, the 3 of us, and, you know, our high school mirror is still intact, and thankful that it was stopped before it got over there. But my primary school, which was Audubon K-3, is okay, but it was very, very close over there, right? And then there's so many other schools. Our main gas station we only had 2 up in Altadena for many years, which the 76 was right by Grocery Outlet back in the 60s and 70s. And then it became like Pioneer Chicken, and then it was Everest. But that one's been gone a long time. But then the Chevron, and it's gone, right? And the church next to it, and St. Mark's School, where my nephew went, and, you know, just so many things that we're connected to, like our whole life is gone, right? So the fact that you all have been impacted and understand it helps a lot. I think it's much better if people want to talk to attorneys, that they talk to people that are directly impacted in some way, shape, or form by a wildfire. So it's great to have you 2 on. Tell me some things that both of you think are very, very important for people in our community to know, just from the perspective of if they need to reach out to an attorney. What would obviously you're the first attorneys we have on. I think I have LA Fire Justice. I know I do, coming on next week. But what are some things, because we've heard about deadlines, we've heard about, you know, all kinds of things. And some people immediately contacted attorneys out of just panic and trauma. Others have waited. People that didn't necessarily live there, like let's say me or Brian or Jamal. Well, Brian did, but Jamal's not currently in Altadena, and I'm meaning living there, and I'm not either. But so we didn't lose our homes, but I've lost my whole childhood. Would I be able to still work through either a claim with Edison or an attorney? Not for the trauma part and the rest of my life that's gone. Maybe not my house, though my parents' house of 57 years is gone, and I know they'll handle their own stuff. But for someone, or renters, like I want to know about all that kind of stuff. So I know I threw a bunch at you, but I'm going to let each of you kind of take it and roll with some of those questions, and then we'll continue on based on, you know, what you say and what others in the audience may have to ask.
Sure. Yeah. So as far as the timelines go, there are some attorneys out there that are creating timelines, wanting them, you know, to join right away so they can sign up and get clients. But in the reality of it, you have 2 years to file a lawsuit. Okay, that's the statute of limitations. 3 years if it's just a property damage claim. So if you have emotional damages, those kinds of things, pain and suffering, obviously, all that comes with evacuating, losing your things, even if you didn't lose your things. That's a 2-year statute of limitations. So really, we've been seeing people coming out now as they've figured out their living situation. They're trying to figure out insurance and things like that. We know that this is so overwhelming for people. Yeah. And so there really is no immediate deadlines to do anything right now.
Okay.
And for who can be involved, unfortunately, for you could not be involved. Losing things, losing your elementary schools and things like that. Basically, we're helping anyone who was in the evacuation zone. So if you're a homeowner, a renter, you were visiting someone and evacuated, any businesses, anyone that was within that zone, we can help. There are a lot of firms that are not taking people that were renters or just had smoke and ash damage and things like that. We're trying to just help as many people as we can.
Okay, good. That's really good to know. And I gave that as a scenario because people have said, well, what about this and what about that? And if we don't know, we just don't know, right? So,
absolutely. I mean, everyone should just, if they have a question, reach out to an attorney and talk to someone, because if, you're never going to know if you don't ask.
Yeah, right? Exactly. Thank you. But definitely if someone lived in the VAC zone or the zone that got totally burned out, they should reach out. Vako, were you going to chime in with that as well?
Santo's right on point there. Everyone has a claim here. If you're a renter to an owner, if you lost you have an actual damage claim. As long as you're in the evacuation zone, you stand a pretty good chance of recovering against Edison. And there's so many aspects, there's so many parts to this case that will build the damages up. There's the property damage aspect. There's also the emotional distress aspect and so many other aspects of it. I brought Santo on because he's been doing this for a very long time and he's the authority on it. So I'm just going to punt it back to him.
Okay, that's fine.
He's got a decade of knowledge on me, but yeah, he's seen a lot of these cases, and this firm has done an amazing thing for over 10 years now. They've done all the major California wildfires and the Maui fires, $1.7 billion in settlements. So yeah, Santo is right on point. There's so much to say, but I'll let him kind of lead the way through this.
Okay, so Santo, thank you for that answer on that. What about people that are having to fight their insurance, right? Like, oh, my house didn't burn down, but I'm still displaced. I'm still paying my mortgage and I'm paying rent over here because the insurance company won't give them rental assistance, or they're saying, well, we sent ServPro, which everybody keeps hearing ServPro is the worst, right? But regardless, they won't fully remediate because they didn't go inside the walls and replace insulation. They didn't take stuff out of the attic, but there's severe smoke damage in those areas. Is that when they would contact you too? And would you get directly involved now with the insurers as well? Or is that just all part of the overall larger claim? Like, how does that work?
Yeah, that's a great question. So we are suing Edison and Edison alone. We are not suing any insurance companies, the California Fair Plan. There are law firms that are doing that. We do have insurance specialists on our team. So anyone that has insurance or having trouble or just want to see, am I getting the most out of my insurance? We get them in touch with our insurance specialists so that they can review the policy and make sure that they get everything that they are entitled to.
Okay. When you say they make sure,
then
do they become a client of your firm, not for the Edison portion, but with the insurance specialist, and there's a different contract set up says we'll represent you or we'll work with your insurance to make sure you're getting it, or do they need to go to a public adjuster? I would assume that's part of what your insurance specialists are or do. But what exactly does that mean when you say we make sure?
Yeah, so there's no separate contract. If they're clients of ours, we actually pay for this insurance specialist to review the policies and make sure that they're getting everything that they need. Now, if they're not, and the insurance company is sticking to a point, now they're going to have to, we'll help them get to a different attorney who will file against the insurance company.
Okay, so you specifically are all about this lawsuit against Edison, and if somebody is not joining that, maybe they did a claim, just a straight out claim, and they don't want to do the whole lawsuit and spend all the extra money, or have it taxed or whatever, right? Because there's so many things that happen. But their insurance company is just not doing what they need to do, then they wouldn't reach out to Wildfire Recovery Attorneys. They would, even if they did, you could say, well, you can contact this person or this person or this person. And there are attorneys out there that will help specifically with insurance companies and fighting that whole thing, because we keep hearing every day, like for people that didn't burn down, I can't get my insurance to do anything. They won't really, and it might be even happening with you, Vako, right? You have smoke damage and probably are encountering that, but it's just like, that's so not okay.
Yeah, and we want everyone who has insurance to get the most out of their insurance policy as they can, because these lawsuits, they take some time. We haven't, typically it's around 2 to 4 years. The earliest we've seen settlements in a wildfire case is about 1.5 years. But so we want people to get as much as they can from the insurance company, because they get that money now, and we get anything over what insurance pays, right? Or anything that insurance doesn't cover. So, yes, we really want them to use their insurance, get as much as they can, and we'll take it from there. Now, they don't have to wait till that's all settled to contact us. And we can help them, like I said, get in touch with our insurance experts so they can get the most out of it.
Okay. And then you just said it again with the 2 to 4 years. I wanted to talk about that because I've heard, and I told you right before the show, that with that Sonoma County fire years ago, that some of the clients that just settled a claim with PG&E up there were paid out within 2 years, right? Because they, whether they admit fault or not, they know they've got to pay it out. Others who have done a lawsuit are 6 years out and still have not settled and have not rebuilt. And others that settled with just a claim, and they felt like, hey, yeah, they're giving me the fair market value for my home, yada, yada, yada. They were able to settle and rebuild their homes and are back in their homes. So can you tell me your thoughts, your expertise, whatever, on the pros and cons of doing just a claim versus obviously going with an attorney? And I'm just going to say it, attorneys cost. You guys are going to take a percentage. I hear it's anywhere from 20 to 40%. You could tell us what yours is if you want. But, and then lawsuits typically are also taxed, right, as reportable income versus a claim may not be. So can you just talk a little bit about that so people get a better understanding of, the options that are out there? Yeah.
So first of all, I'll start with the taxes. If we encourage all of our clients to seek a tax specialist, accountants. Now, if a claim and a lawsuit, those would be the same damages that you're asking for. So they should always seek a tax specialist. Yeah. But they would both be equally taxable if they are taxable. Okay. Now, I think that fire is different because there was a bankruptcy. And so if you were a post-bankruptcy creditor, that's what's dragging on. And so if you had filed a claim or a lawsuit before the bankruptcy was filed, you're good and you would have gotten the case settled already. But anyone after that, that's what drags on. So, like I was saying earlier, the statute of limitations is 2 years. The only time sensitive issue is if Edison were to file bankruptcy, you want to be one of those people who have filed before the bankruptcy. Now, we have no indication at this point that Edison's going to file bankruptcy. It's just something that we say because we've seen it before in the past. Now, as far as what Edison's doing with the claims, the full structure has not been released yet, so we haven't seen it. But we did see it, we have seen it before in other fires. And what we have seen is it's vastly undervalued to what we can get in a lawsuit. For example, in Maui, there was the one HANA fund, I believe it was called, and those were for the wrongful deaths that occurred out there, and there was over 100 wrongful deaths in the Lahaina fire. And they said, listen, we'll give you $1 million now if you settle with us, which sounds like a lot. And, for a lot of people, and that's a lot of money to anyone.
Not in Hawaii, it's not. And not to rebuild a home in Hawaii, it definitely is not.
No, and to be honest, that's in a wrongful death situation, that's vastly, vastly undervalued.
Yeah,
a lot of
people, more than that.
I mean, much, much more than that.
Right.
And so, and a lot of those people still haven't been paid, and so then they waive their chance to go forward with a lawsuit.
With a lawsuit, right? If you accept a claim settlement, right?
Exactly.
Got it.
So, obviously, you want an attorney to read all of this, but any settlement that you would ever have, but we know from past that those kinds of claims, those situations where it's just the defendants trying to get out for cheap.
Got it. Thank you. That's super helpful, because like I said, to hear on one hand somebody say, well, 2 years they settled me, and to them it was fair market value for their loss, their home or whatever. Obviously an attorney will get you more, but an attorney's going to take a chunk of that settlement.
Oh, yeah. And then back to that, 25% is standard. Now, there are attorneys, especially in this fire, right? This is close to LA, and, every billboard attorney who sees an opportunity is jumping into this case. And so we have seen 40, 50% contingency fees. That is inappropriate. In these kinds of cases, it should be around 25%.
Should be about 25. Okay, thank you. And can you tell me who all the firms are that are part of Wildfire Recovery? I know you, Riccobono LLP.
Yeah, Ellis Riccobono.
Ellis Riccobono, sorry.
My partner. No problem. Look, you got me. That's the most important. Just kidding.
Okay, cool.
And then Diop Chambers is another firm involved in Wildfire Recovery Attorneys, and then the other one is Barron and Budd. And Barron and Budd is a national environmental firm. They've handled some huge cases in the environmental legal world. A lot of wildfires, what they do, but then also the BCBs in schools and suing Monsanto and
got it.
Opioid, all kinds of stuff. They do really great work.
So they would be on par with like Morgan & Morgan. And I'm saying that only because I see them on TV, right? Like they handle all kinds of stuff for everybody all over the place. I don't know anything about them. I'm just using that as an example because I don't obviously know who they are. So that's what I mean. So yeah.
I'll say Barron & Budd is an amazing firm. I really don't know the legal work that goes behind.
Right. Okay. Rod Chambers, John Fisk. Okay. Keep going. Who's down? Taylor O'Neill, Jason Julius Torrey. There's Vako. Scott, Kristen. So these are all of the attorneys that are part of.
Some attorneys and some staff.
Okay.
That work on these cases with us.
That are under Wildfire Recovery Attorneys.
Yeah.
The group. Okay. Thank you, Jamal, for bringing that up and scrolling down. Now, I do want to bring something up that you sent us just so that we can show it and begin to talk about it, because I know you have some upcoming events. If I'm not mistaken, you had something last night, correct? Or yesterday?
Yeah, I think it was a virtual meeting.
Yeah, I think all of them are virtual is what it looked like to me. But Jamal, are you able to bring that up? Because I do want them to speak to that.
Yeah, there's a in person too.
Yeah, on the 21st, we're at We Olive Wine Bar, and that is a resource fair. So I know that there'll be a local realtor that will be there, and I think some other people as well. In the beginning, we had FEMA at some of our resource fairs. We also have therapists and home builders,
Nice.
people from banks. U.S. Bank has been there, and so, basically any resource that we think our clients might need or potential clients might need, just trying to connect people that were affected with everyone that they would need.
Excuse me. Sorry about that.
Yeah, and then on the 26th, we're at Domenico's. Bless you.
Okay. Thank you. So the 19th is virtual. The 21st is We Olive Wine Bar at 32 East Colorado Boulevard in Pasadena. And then the 26th is at Domenico's on Washington. And then the original one over there on your way to Altadena Drive. And then August 28th is another one but it's virtual. So these are either free one-on-one sessions or live Q&As that will cover what this flyer says, which is if you suffered property damage, evacuation costs, or emotional distress due to the Eaton fire, you may be entitled to compensation. Join us at our upcoming fire recovery events, and you will learn who may qualify for comp, what comp may be recovered, misconceptions about SCE's Wildfire Recovery Comp Program, that's the claims that we're talking about, progress and timeline of the Eaton fire lawsuit, important evidence to gather for your claim. So, that's really good information. And then can we go to that next slide, Jamal? Okay, so this is basically the same, meaning the information up there is the same about the dates and the info sessions, the one-on-one sessions. But you have represented, I think that this is very important for people to see, that you have this group of wildfire recovery attorneys, which are several firms, but have come together to help people, have recovered more than $1.7 billion over the past decade against utilities companies, specifically for wildfire-related damages. And then you have represented people, if we go back those 10 years, to the Butte fire. And all of these were California fires, of course, other than Lahaina. But, we're fire capital of the USA, I believe. But anyway, because we have our fire season, like other people have tornado and hurricane season. We have our earthquakes, but we don't have a season for that. But we definitely have fire season. So the Butte fire, the North Bay fires in 1718, the Thomas fire, mudslides. Oh, so there was a Thomas fire and then the mudslides came after, because if it rains right after fires, we know that that's going to happen. The Woolsey fire and Camp fire, both in 2018, the Kincaid fire in 2019. So in 2020, it's too late, it's 5 years. Because I lived right below the Bobcat fire and we had to evacuate. I should have contacted you guys, huh? Anyway, I'm just kidding. I mean, I did, but I'm kidding about I should have contacted you. I didn't lose anything. We did have some smoke damage, but and we had to stay inside, but I'm okay. The Slater fire, I never heard of that one. The Zog fire, the Dixie fire in 21. In 22, good grief, we had the McKinney fire, the Mill fire, the Mosquito fire, Hermit Peaks, California Canyon fire, and Fairview fire. That was a lot in that year. And then in 23, we know the big one that was in Lahaina. We were supposed to be traveling there for my niece's wedding. And the fire happened 2 weeks before her wedding. So Everything had to be canceled and changed. And that was devastating to her because all of us had tickets and we were supposed to go to Lahaina or to Hawaii for that fire. And I mean, for her wedding. And the fire happened 2 weeks before. So that was kind of crazy. But yeah, this is really, really good information because obviously like you said, there's ambulance chasing attorneys. There's tons of attorneys that are out there that are like, hey, we'll represent you, we'll file the lawsuit. But to me, just because you have an attorney or ESQ behind your name or whatever, right, and you have a license to practice, does not mean you would be a great attorney to help with wildfire recovery. So I think that that's important. Maybe you all can speak to that too, because if someone has not specialized in that and has never litigated for after a fire, they're an attorney, yes, but will it be beneficial for me to go with someone that just is like, hey, I can represent you, here's my card?
Right. Yeah. I mean, listen, no one should hire me to do their trust or their estate, or if they're in a DUI, I'm not the guy. You know,
Yeah.
I know my lane, and, you know, it's very important to hire someone who has actual experience in these kinds of cases.
Yes.
Now, when you look at our results, a lot of times what you see in advertisements of other firms, you see 13.5 billion, and a lot of firms advertise that exact number. Now that number is every recovery of every wildfire in California history.
Oh,
Firm
right.
by everyone. So that's like saying, I don't know what the number is, but it's, $1 billion of, car accident settlements. It's like, that's not you. It doesn't mean anything, right? So,
Right.
We have a very high percentage, 1.7 billion of the 13.5 billion total.
Yeah.
And then, just so you guys know, the Hermit's Peak fire, which we're still handling cases for, that's in New Mexico. So we're all California lawyers, but we handle cases all across the country. We're in, obviously Hawaii, New Mexico, but also Virginia, Michigan, Texas, we've handled cases. So, just kind of anywhere where there are fires. Now, you're right, California, there are the most,
Right.
But we handle them all across the nation.
Okay. And that makes sense, because us being, like I say, I call it the fire capital of the U.S., probably makes sense that you all have the most experience and could go and help someone navigate that in another state, right? If they're just like, they don't know. And I don't want to call you all ambulance chasers after fires, but but you probably have the most experience. So you would go to another place and say, hey, yes, we can help with this here because of our experience with our wildfires in California. So that's really good. I think that people have that information, right? So tell me this, because if I were, another scenario, my house burned down in Eaton fire. It's taken me these 7 months to just settle myself, right? Figure out exactly what's a stable environment for me to live. Every day I'm still crying though, right? Because I lost my house and all this stuff. I've been there 40 years, or whatever. Again, this is a scenario. What if I call you? Am I going to get pressured into going with you, or can I just ask you the questions? You'll give me the questions and then say to me, think about it. If you feel like you want to work with us, we're here, come back. Because a lot of people feel like these attorneys out here are just pressuring them so they can get their business and then they can make a lot of money off of them. And obviously we don't want that in our community. We know that it's already out there, but people that have lost everything need to be handled gently and with care.
Absolutely. Yeah, we never pressure anyone. I would say we're one of the only firms that give out our personal cell phone numbers. So I don't
have yours, Santo. What are you talking about? No, I'm just messing with you.
Put it in the chat. I don't even care.
I'm just kidding. Because I give mine out here almost every day. But go ahead. I get what you're saying.
I'll give it out. And then I won't talk to someone I met, at a resource fair months ago, and then I'll get a text like, "Hey, I'm ready to talk now."
Okay.
So it is helpful, and in other cases, other fires, I should say, we get a lot of cases from people who can't get a hold of their attorneys ever. They'll sign up initially because they were pressured to do so, and then they won't hear anything from that attorney for months. And so they'll reach out to us, because they know, well, Santo gave me a cell phone number the first time I met him, and they'll just text me. And so we want to make sure it's on their terms, because we know how traumatic this all is. And when you say you're crying every day, I know this is a scenario.
No, but that's real. I still am. It literally is. I could be talking 1 minute to somebody, and the next minute I'm bawling, crying. But yes, go on.
Yeah, I mean, we recommend anyone that feels like they need to talk to someone, they should see therapists. Yeah. And yes, that is helpful for the case, but I mean, we want that so people can heal. And sometimes you do need to talk, because when you are in a situation like this, you put on that brave face so that you can function for your kids or whatever it is, just to get by in life. But you need to really process what's happened.
Yeah, and there's a lot of really great community organizations out there that provide men's circles, women's circles, support groups. It's really beautiful seeing all that. Dina Heals is one of them, and they're great. They're great people. They have like free yogas on Saturdays, and they're all people from the community, and they're all helping each other. So it's really, it's a beautiful thing to see. A lot of silver linings out of all of this.
It is, and thank you for saying that, because we always talk about and we give the announcements of all of this stuff, right? And when we find out, like I had a lady call me last night who wants me to come speak to doctoral candidates on the 28th of this month at USC because of what we're doing here. And she watches the show. And so I was like, me come speak to doctoral candidates? She was like, yes, you're such a great speaker. And we watched the show and we want to know how you guys did this and, what you're doing moving forward. So I said, that's fine. But Brian, and I want him to jump on because Brian was in Arcadia at Olive Garden eating dinner. And on his way from there, saw the fire and raced, to his house. And they did have to evacuate. He had to help his girlfriend's mom, who's like 98 now or whatever, evacuate. And those houses burned.
She didn't want to go.
Right. And so those homes burned. And this podcast, was birthed out of his experience, because then a couple days later, or the next day, he was down at Brookside getting some of the help that was being given, like water and jackets, and he went live. And then Jamal, because they've been friends since they were toddlers, but for a very long time, said, you should keep going live. And they did. And because Brian and I were connected on Facebook, and he saw all the resources and accurate information that I was putting out there, was like, we need to have this lady come on. And so I came on a week later, and ever since I've been on. And so, it was very organic and all, because we're Altadenians and all graduated from John Muir High School and all of that. And we laugh and joke, like I'm the older sister. They're both my little brothers. They get on my daggone nerves. I get on theirs. We're all family. But I wanted Brian to speak a little bit to not just that history, but what he emotionally has been dealing with. And he's stable now where he's residing, but I know there's days where he still breaks or has one too many drinks or whatever, right? So Brian, can you talk about that as a potential client of them? No, not as a potential client of them, but just saying, some of the things, because it might trigger them to give someone some information.
Basically, I just wanted to I've always been a benevolent person. So regardless of what happens to me, I'm always trying to help the next person. In my particular case, I was told the house was burned down, and I was in Santa Clarita after I evacuated. I couldn't believe it. So I drove back. And when I got off the freeway at 9 a.m., it looked like it was midnight. And after actually eyewitnessing, and I filmed this whole thing as I'm driving, so I've still got the film, but it was so surreal that I didn't know what to do. I went live, and I never really cry in public, but this year I've been the most emotional person that you could ever see, because just like Toni said, I cry out of nowhere. Everyone's like, why are you so sensitive? I'm like, if you understood what I went through and what I lost, and it's not about the stuff.
Right.
It's about the routine of my day, of my life. that has been so disrupted that the only thing that saves me right now is this podcast has become my therapy. And my whole goal with this was to help other people. But a bigger goal would be to become a prototype for other disaster areas if they could find people that can be trusted in the community to even commit to something like this. I mean, 153 episodes. I don't know any other disaster that's ever done anything like this, or else I'd be watching every day. So my thing with this is I just want to be a pillar in the community and just help as much as I can. And that's why we have this podcast. And just basically, that's where I'm at with it. I don't really like to bring attention to myself unless I'm being jokative or something. That was my way of avoiding dealing with it. But now seeing everyone's stories and seeing the phases that we've gone through, the toxic removal, the debris removal, now we're in the permit stage, houses are being built. We go out in the community and we film every house that's being built. We want you to see that it's happening, it's coming back, because people don't know. The news left in beginning of March. They come back for, this is the last house, just like yesterday. This is the last house of the debris being cleared.
Right.
Okay, well, that's great. But where are we going next? And so that's what we're here for, is to find out all that information. So I'm glad that we have the team that we have, 3 people who know each other, who went to the same school, who lived in the same town, who know the value of what this town brings. And frankly, we had Toni come on because I just got tired of sharing her stuff. It was too much, so I wouldn't even say anything. I would just say, check this out, or this is good news, because there's no point in me ad-libbing to what she's already said. So now we just have her on the show, so here you are. But
so they give me for free? No. No, I'm glad to be here though.
I'm just so glad that it all worked out and that we all have our lanes. She's great at this. I'm great at engineering and doing compliance work, with getting our nonprofit going and everything. Jamal's a great researcher and all the announcements that we have, he finds them. I mean, I find them on occasion, but I would dare not step on his toes. I might say, hey, did you see this? Oh, okay. But other than that, I'm just glad to be able to have a platform where people like yourselves, Santo and Vako, can come on and actually reach people, because that's our whole goal. You got a whole bunch of people popped up out of nowhere. I looked on Secretary of State and there was 100 Altadena companies and nonprofits popping up since January 7th. So, now that the weeds are getting cleared out, you're seeing who's left standing 7 months later. And here we are. So that's all I got to say.
And we're here to stay for her.
Yeah. Oh, yes. We're trying to be here until the last house is built. And even further than that.
Will be. We're not dying or nothing. No time soon.
I'm glad I'm in a building that has been built since 1880 and it has withstood all the earthquakes that have happened. So I think I'm pretty cool here.
Thank you so much.
By the way, I'm definitely going to be at the Domenico's one, because that's my favorite pizza. I've been eating that since I was 10. Good. I'm just telling you, save me a spot.
Thanks, Brian. So, Vako or Santo, what else? Or I know we have you until 11. We're about a quarter till. But what is it that, if you could convey anything other than what we've shown, and we can show it again about those dates and people can look at those QR codes, but what is one of the most important things at this phase, right, which is 7 months and a week out, that you could say to our audience, because we are live, we're on YouTube, LinkedIn, and Instagram, if they need some information or whatever? What is one of the most important things you could say? I think some of it you've already said, Santo, which really helps, is telling people they don't have a 6-month timeline to sign up with an attorney. So even reiterating that, but either one of you, if you have some really important info that you think would be really important for people to know.
Yeah, I mean, listen, we know how traumatic this is, and listen, people are worried about, where they're going to live and if they're rebuilding their home and things like that. And I love to see that we're 7 months out and homes are being rebuilt. I mean, that's fast, right? I mean, I know it doesn't seem that way for a lot of people probably, but if you wanted to get a home built before this, it's not going to take 7 months, right? It's going to take much longer than that. So yeah. I love that. And I love that, we actually see it in every community, but especially this one, as far as, how people come together and the resources that are available to people. And so, continue to reach out to your neighbors and your community members and for help. And, if you ever need questions legally, we're always here. And I'm not joking. I mean, I don't know how to put it in the chat because I'm
It will. Just say it. Just say it, and Brian and Jamal will put it up.
Yeah. So my cell phone number is 805-535-5994. You can call me. You can text me. If you have any questions, I'm here.
805
535
5994. 5994. Now that is Santo Riccobono. Can I just say this? Is it like Riccobono? No, I'm just kidding.
You can say it like that every time. Yes.
Okay. I think it just sounds good like that, like Riccobono. Anyway, give us yours, Vako, and we'll put that one up there too. That number, 805-535-5994, is for Santo Riccobono.
Yeah, that's my personal cell phone number.
Okay, thank you. I know you probably get lots of calls and texts, but the fact that you're willing to give that out is really nice, because if someone is watching and is like, you know what, I need to do that. Or even if they're not watching live, because all of our 153, I believe today, episodes are on our YouTube channel, someone may watch this and have your number and go, oh, whether it's next week or in a month or two. And that's my thing. I want people to know how to reach you all and be able to contact you and get the either advice or consultation or whatever that they need. And when they feel comfortable, if they feel like they want to go with you to, connect with you again and start that process. Vako, do you want to give us a number for you?
Yeah. Cell phone number is 631-8670.
And is that 626?
It's 818.
818-631.
Yeah, 8670. 8670.
8670. Okay, you're kind of breaking up a little. That's why.
Oh,
so 626.
No. The area code is 818.
I'm sorry, 818.
It's okay. 631.
631.
8670. You got it.
8670. They heard it much better than I did. I'm thankful Brian and or Jamal were listening. And so if anybody wants to contact either Santo or Vako as part of the Wildfire Recovery Attorneys, their numbers are on the screen. You will have it. We'll have it up through the rest of the show, and then you can contact them. Also, the number that is on that flyer, we do want to put those up again, because if they need to reach anybody through that number directly, they can. And then those QR codes, we will put this also on our site, Altadena Talks, our nonprofit site, so that people can look at it on the site, have the dates, because we put under all of our documents or forms or whatever, we keep people's information there. So Brian manages that, and he's really good with that, like he said, with the engineering. So we have these documents. We will put them on the site so that if anybody goes back and says, oh, this was those attorneys, they can go to altadenatalks.org and find this information as well. And they can scan the QR code. Now, the QR code is so that they can register, so you all will have a ballpark number of how many are going to show up, correct?
Yeah, correct. So it's, appropriately staffed, because, it is a question and answer session, but what we like to do, ideally, unless we get a flood of people, is I'll take, a group of people and just talk to them one-on-one so they can ask any questions that they have without, speaking in front of a big group if they feel more comfortable. And they can ask any question that they want. It's not directed by a presentation or anything. And then Vako would take the next group that comes in, and we just kind of rotate and make sure that we have enough attorneys there to answer everyone's questions.
Perfect. So anybody that's watching, if you want to go to any of the events that they have, we will put that back up again. This information will be on the site as well for both Santo and Vako and Wildfire Recovery Attorneys. But take a look, go to these QR codes if you want to go on the 19th, on the 21st, or the 28th. So Domenico's, I'm sorry, the wine bar and Domenico's don't have the QR codes. Those are for the virtual sessions. So can people just show up for those?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, I'm expecting Brian to get there for some pizza.
Oh, yeah.
On the 26th.
Oh, I will be there. I will be there greeting your.
You're greeting your guest, I think he said, but he's in a tunnel or underwater right now. So Jamal's going to fix that. The Wheat Olive Wine Bar, that sounds nice. I'm not a big wine drinker. I might come and have a little glass of Moscato, but I think it would be really good for people just to be able to meet you all in person, ask whatever questions, and, get some insight as to what their questions may be.
The wine bar is actually across the street from our office.
Okay, the wine bar is across the street from our office. Brian's sitting in our office on Colorado, so it's right across the street, which is great.
I want to just quickly remind everyone, if you're a renter, don't be discouraged from coming and asking an attorney for questions. If you're a renter, if your house didn't burn down, but you were part of the evacuation zone, don't be discouraged. And a lot of people are thinking also, when I talk to these people, I talk to a lot of people in the community, and they think that it's the insurance company and then there's nothing after that. That's not true. Whatever, and like Santo said, whatever the insurance company doesn't pay you, whatever the insurance company is giving you a hard time about, there is recourse in the lawsuit with Edison. So don't be discouraged. Don't think that you're alone in this fight. We're here for you guys. We're here to support you. And just want to say, just because you're a renter, just because you're just stuck with insurance or don't have insurance at all, none of these things are bars to your recovery. Come out, ask questions, and yeah, we encourage all of that. Just want to remind all of the listeners and viewers of that.
Yeah, that's super important that people understand that, right? And they can differentiate from those. I just had a question pop up in my head and then it left. So I'll try to remember it before, but if not, I don't know. Anyway, no worries. I'm excited about today. Oh, no, what I was going to say is a statement. We are, and I will email you both, but we are going to be having an event in November, a day of thanks. And if you all want to do one of two things, you can sponsor us and be a part of that. I know that you've gone on the site, Vako, you've seen sponsorships, you've seen even to sponsor the podcast. But if you want to sponsor us or be one of the many sponsors for that event, we will be doing giveaways to the community. So you're welcome to do that as Wildfire Recovery Attorneys, or even your firm, Santo, if you want to do that. If you want to have a booth there, we will have that up on the site as well, because we are going to have that as well. We're going to have resource fairs and everything with it. And it will be in conjunction with the county, because we'll be using La Malta Park. So I'll get the information to you soon. And if that's something you all want to take part in, you can as well.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Sounds great.
Yeah. I've been working behind the scenes this week, getting the approvals and all that. So I just announced it yesterday. As more logistics and details come out, I will get that. But as the flyer comes out, or my sponsorship letter, I will send it to you all, and we can go from there. Not our Altadena Talks Foundation sponsorship letter comes out, because this will be an Altadena Talks Foundation event. And yes, anyone that wants to help and be there and help the community, we are welcoming you. So any parting words, gentlemen? We're almost at 11. And I know I told you, I wanted you here for the hour. I know I made the invite a little longer, but I don't try to keep people longer, because you guys have work to do. So I try to honor that.
No, I really appreciate you having us on, and hearing your story and Brian's story. We're here for everyone in the community.
Yeah.
Thank you, Santo.
Same here. Too. Thank you for giving us this time, and I love what you guys are doing. I learned a lot about what's going on in the community by watching your podcast, so it's an honor to be here, and I love to work with you guys in the future. And we really are sincerely here to help the community rebuild and regrow.
Thank you so much. Appreciate that so much. I'm glad you're here, and you're our first attorneys here. And let me just tell you this. I've had people say, I've heard about your show. We want to come on the show. But you literally, Vako, were the first attorney that I met up with and gave me a card and talked about the show. And so I think last week, 2 weeks ago, whatever, when I got back from vacation, we talked on the phone and I was like, look, I now have other people asking to come on. Do y'all want to come on? I'll let you be the first ones. If not, I'm bringing other people on. So you are the first attorneys that I have had on the Toni Talk Show because of that. And immediately you jumped on it and said, yes, we do have, like I said, LA Fire Justice coming on next week. So they will talk about everything they're doing in the community. Chris Holden and I think Mr. Boxer is coming on or something, whatever attorneys. So you guys beat everybody else to the punch. So congratulations on that. I'm glad that you came on and gave the information you did today. And, we'll see what everybody else does when they come on. But we'll be in touch. We will put those in our announcements so people are aware of what is going on. And we'll have the documents on our site as well. Okay.
Thank you.
All right. You're so welcome. Thank you, gentlemen, and have a great day. Now, you can stay if you want, but now we're going to do announcements and act goofy. We just have fun at the end of the show. So if you want to watch, whether it's live or in the green room, you're welcome to. If not, you're welcome to drop. See, Brian's already starting.
It's the music.
We just cut up. So when I say goodbye, it's your choice. But I know that, when I ask you to come in for an hour, because you are working and doing things and helping clients, feel free to drop. We will not be offended because you have been here and had a great show with us. So I'm appreciative of that today.
Thank you.
All righty.
Okay, now
Thank you, gentlemen.
This Velcro trainer off. Oh.
I'm going to put you on mute, Brian, until we can get your mic fixed, okay?
But see you at Domenico's. Either way.
And Jamal, could you move on and not move on? I'm sorry. Segue to our announcements now.
Move on.
Yeah, here, let me move on. See you later.
Move on or whatever.
Slide out like we do.
Alrighty, here. Let me remove this.
Slide.
Yeah, we gotta figure out what's up with that mic, man. TGIF folks, here we go with the announcements. So the survivor support location is located, or for our area, at the Altadena Community Center, located at 730 East Altadena Drive in Altadena. There are several services that will actually be there, such as SBA, DCBA, Treasurer and Tax Collector, as well as the Assessor's Office. They're available Monday through Friday from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. And FEMA is no longer there. They stopped being there at the end of last month. But if you do still need some assistance from FEMA, you can reach out to disasterassistance.gov. Are we doing round robin again?
We can.
I was just wondering.
Yeah, we can. Brian is garbled, so I don't know if he can, but.
All right, so I'll do this one. The LA County One-Stop Permit Center, located at 464 West Woodbury Road, Suite 210 in Altadena, has walk-in hours from Monday from 8 a.m. to 4:30, Monday through Friday. And if you'd like to set up a consultation appointment to rebuild, they have those available Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays from 8:30 a.m. to 12:30 p.m., as well as Saturdays from 8 a.m. to noon. You can also set up an appointment to meet with the Southern California Edison Planner. They have those appointments available only on Mondays and Wednesdays from 8 a.m. to noon. In order to schedule these appointments, you do have to go to the website recovery.lacounty.gov/rebuilding/1-stop-permit-centers. And you would then click the link at the top of the page to go ahead and schedule that. Oops, here we go. All right, Toni popped off. Do you want to try it, or do you want me to just keep going?
I'm back. I was moving that green screen because it messes everything up in the back. So I again have the fees, waivers, and refunds. As everyone knows, LA County is waiving and refunding permit fees for homeowners rebuilding after the Eaton and Palisades fires. Homeowners who have already paid their fees will be refunded. We don't have a timeline, but if you've paid something, they will give it back to you eventually. Homeowners who have not yet paid their fees will have their fees waived, so you don't have to pay anything. To qualify, an applicant must demonstrate that they both own and lived on the property prior to January 7, 2025. So even if you signed a lease on January 1 or 6, you're good. You're in like Flynn. What projects are eligible? You can replace your single family home destroyed by either the Eaton or Palisades fires. That does include accessory structures, which are garages, ADUs, pools, etc. You can also have a standalone ADU for temporary occupancy during the rebuild. And then what is not eligible is if you were the owner of a commercial lot or property, a rental, a multifamily, or temporary housing projects, properties not damaged by the fires. How to apply for the fee waiver? There are several ways. Obviously, you can scan this big, beautiful QR code that's in front of us. You can also go to recovery.lacounty.gov/fee waivers and refunds. Fill out that fee waiver and submit it directly on the site, or you can email a fee waiver application to recovery@planning.lacounty.gov, or you can go to the one-stop places and submit them in person. You only need to do this one time. It's one form and it covers all the departments. So there literally is no need to submit multiple forms to multiple agencies, which is a blessing because too many people have already had to do that over and over and they've gotten so frustrated.
Yeah, that's definitely a good thing. The CalAssist Mortgage Fund, we've been talking about this for a while. It provides mortgage payment relief. It's 3 months of this relief up to a maximum of $20,000. The funds never have to be repaid and it's free to apply. And the grants actually go directly to the mortgage servicer, so you don't have to touch the money. One thing to note is that the grants are going to be eligible as long or be given out as long as the funds are available. So don't hesitate. Go ahead and apply. We don't have any indication that the funds are running out, but why wait, right? Go ahead and fill it out. You can be eligible if your primary residence was destroyed or considered uninhabitable due to the qualified disaster from the 1st of January 2023 through the 8th of January 2025. And obviously the Eden fire and the Palisades fire qualify. You must also have owned and occupied your home with up to 4 units on the property, as well as meeting the program income limits of a combined $140,700. Now, when you apply, you do have to be prepared to provide mortgage statements, utility bills, proof of income, homeowners insurance, or FEMA claims, as well as your bank statements. Now, to apply, you have to go to calassistmortgagefund.org. And once you get there, there is a link at the top, I believe it is, that says apply. When you're filling that out and applying, if you have questions and need some help, you can reach out over the phone at 800-501-0019, Monday through Friday, 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. However, if you do need help in person, if you go to the Altadena Community Center, located again at 730 East Altadena Drive, you can get that in-person application help by the folks at Neighborhood Housing Services from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. Monday through Friday. And also, if you're displaced in the LA area, you can go to their one-stop rebuilding center at 1828 Sawtelle Boulevard in Los Angeles.
Sawtelle. Oh, that's me. For ages 0 to 18, really about 1 to 18, but free lunch at the library, Monday through Friday. It started June 9th. It ends today. It's from 11:30 a.m. to 1:30 p.m. The Jefferson Branch and Villa Park Branch libraries, they are healthy meals. I don't know what they are, but they look healthy in the background. And there's no registration required. You can show up. And this is being sponsored by the Pasadena Public Library, Lunch at the Library, lunch at the Library, and the California State Library. So they've put some funds together to make sure that the children, while they were out for the summer, got to eat some healthy meals. So if you have kiddos, go. And today is the last day.
Absolutely. Here's one of many backpack and school supply giveaway slides that we have for this weekend and the next couple days. This one is provided by Hope Now. It's Hope Now presents the backpack giveaway. It's bags and school supplies. This is going to be located at 1800 North Lake Avenue in Pasadena. Today. It begins at 10 a.m. or began at 10 a.m. and it's available until supplies last. To reserve a bag, you do have to email info@hopenowcrc.org, or you can actually make a phone call and reserve at area code 626-817-3910. Now, your bag will be reserved only until 6:30, at which time, if you haven't picked it up, it may be given to someone else.
And then the end of summer movie night. Celebrate with us as we say goodbye to summer. Actually, that's not till next month, right? Like September 22nd or something is the start
official end of summer. Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, I guess the end of summer for people just hanging out, being out because kids are going back to school. Jumanji is showing. There will be popcorn and snacks, games and game swap. And this is at our summer Altadena libraries. Okay, so this was the Altadena library summer thing. So it's tonight from 8 to 10 p.m. at the main library, 600 East Mariposa Street in Altadena. So if you've been going to summer movie nights, tonight is the last one because kiddos are going back to school. And I know parents are very happy.
And I wonder which Jumanji they're going to show, the original one
I don't know.
with Robin Williams or the new one. That would be actually cool with The Rock and Kevin Hart and all those folks. Both of them were pretty good, pretty cool. So the Darden, on behalf of the Darden Leadership and Career Academy, in addition to Simply Divine Academy, they're presenting their 5th annual Back to School giveaway. They're actually providing community resources, free haircuts, as well as books, plus the backpacks and school supplies. It is the last of their 2 events is tomorrow from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. It's located at 421 East Woodbury Road in Altadena. To register, you do want to scan that QR code and get there probably early so you can make sure you get everything that you need and take advantage of all the good stuff that's there.
And today is a backpack giveaway distribution drive. Because kiddos are starting school next week and parents are happy, people are still helping in the community. So this is at 1280 East Washington Boulevard in Pasadena. This ends in under an hour, about 50 minutes, 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. First come, first serve. Impact LA and Pasadena. I cannot read what's under that. Something.
It's Seventh-day Adventist.
Seventh-day Adventist Church. Okay, Pasadena 7-day out. Y'all, I even have glasses on and can't see that itty bitty writing. Anywho,
you notice why I haven't said it.
Right. If your children still need school supplies, that backpacks or whatever, please go to that today. You have about 50 minutes.
And if you missed that one, bam! Here's yet another. Presented by Charlie's Angels, Back to School Give Back. They're actually providing free school supplies, free backpacks, haircuts, braids. There'll be community services, free food, surprise giveaways, as well as much, much more. This again is tomorrow from 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. This is going to be at the Eaton Blanche Park, located at 3100 East Del Mar Boulevard in Pasadena. In order to participate, you do need to scan the QR code. So if you can scan that QR code, it'd be great. And as I've mentioned before, when it comes to the haircuts and the braids, please request a simple style so as everyone can actually take part in that service.
And then this insurance workshop for homeowners with reverse mortgages is sponsored by LA County Recovers. And in conjunction with that, the Consumer and Business Affairs, LA County Aging and Disabilities Department, Cal Assist. Here's your laptop. Cal Assist, the Neighborhood Housing Services, Core, Bet Tzidik. I don't want to offend anybody. I know that's a Jewish name, I believe, but I may not say it correctly. So forgive me if I have not. I'm not being funny. SCV, Senior Center, LACTA, and I can't even see what's around that other one. But you can go to https://081625.eventbrite.com to register for this insurance workshop for homeowners who happen to have reverse mortgages and your house was lost, in the wildfire or whatever.
Awesome.
Oh, it's Saturday, August 16th, 10 a.m. I don't even see how I missed that big old pink square right there, rectangle. Tomorrow from 10 a.m. to 12 p.m. at Montecedro Senior Living Community, 2212 El Camino Avenue. Oh, God. 2212 El Molino Avenue in Altadena, 91001. You guys, that slide I totally botched. Please forgive me. I was not trying to botch it. Wasn't trying to say anything wrong. I think my tongue just got twisted on other things, and so I messed up. But
Tony, you've now proved that you are human.
I'm not a robot. I was always human.
I'm actually going to jump to this one because I'm going to speak a little bit about it because this one is from my my cousin and my godbrother. So the Brothers of Pasadena Alumni Chapter of Kappa Alpha Psi Fraternity Incorporated are providing a boots on the ground line dance and denim and boots day party. It's going to be tomorrow from 4 p.m. to 9 p.m. It's at the Mix in Pasadena. Tickets are $50. Now, he had indicated that half of the proceeds are going to be going to a local charity. They're determining which one at this point, but it is your money's going to go to a good cause. To actually register for this, you would go to altadenatalks.org/boots on the ground. And thank you, Brian, for creating this form. Why are you shaking your head?
Oh, nothing. I'm sorry. And it's tomorrow from 4 to 9.
Yeah.
All right, Pasadena Noops, do your thing.
There you go. All right. So there you go, Tony.
And the Pasadena Parks Recreation and Community Services Summer Park Concert Series will have Matthias, Saturday, August 16th from 5 to 8 p.m. Join them for a night of Latin jams with Matthias, I believe it is. Memorial Park, 85 East Holly in Old Town, Pasadena.
Awesome. Oops, here we go. Now, this is for some stuff starting next week, but I wanted to we wanted to kind of start announcing it now. But this particular one I want to do because it is for Monday, August 18th, Welcome Back Day. This is something that they've been doing at John Muir High School for the last few years. So on the first day of school, they request folks from the community to come on out. They create, they come out and cheer the kids on, root them on, encourage them to have a fantastic school year. This is located at John Muir High School, 1905 Lincoln Avenue in Pasadena, and it will begin at 8:30 a.m. Everyone is welcome, especially obviously alumni, but parents, anyone in the community that would like to support the students that go to John Muir High School. Please, we encourage you to come on out and cheer the kids on.
And there's a free vision screening and eyeglasses event exclusively for Eaton Fire survivors. This is by appointment only. August 18th, which is Monday of next week, from 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. at Harambe at 1609 Navarro Street in Pasadena. They offer vision screenings, on-site refractions, which are eye exams, prescription eyeglasses, and referrals. If you currently wear glasses, please bring them with you or have them on. If you wear contacts and you need them to see, wear them to the event and then take them off when you get there. Book your appointment using the QR code on the flyer or at https://tinyurl.com/Helen Keller Screenings. This is a collaboration. I was going to say corroboration. Collaboration between Helen Keller Institute International and Project Passion.
Perfect. One of the last two. So next Saturday, Chris Holden is going to have his 26th annual Community Resource Fair and Block Party. It's going to take place from 3 p.m. to 7 p.m. and will be in the 500 block of East Jackson Street in Pasadena. I did confirm that it is where I was thinking, because Chris Holden lives a couple doors down from the Reed. So they've been doing this, as it says, for 26 years. I've attended a couple of them, and this is always a very nice event. So bring the whole family to play games, listen to live music, pick up resources from local nonprofits and agencies, shop local businesses, and encourage each other as a community. It doesn't say to register, but usually when there's a QR code, that's a registration request. So definitely scan the QR code. If it is indeed a registration, we know why they're asking, right? They want to make sure that they have enough supplies for everybody who wants to attend. So please do that and, check it out. It should actually be a very nice event. And here is the last one of the day.
You don't have the one from Chris Lose's thing?
I can add that in a moment. But go ahead, Toni.
Oh, and since you are not garbled, go on and read this one, Brian.
Okay.
Oh, yeah, I do have that one.
Miracle City.
Don't. Just read it. Look at his face. Oh, I know he did not do that.
He's like, if I can't do it my way, I'm out of here.
Get back on here and read the daggone slide.
Well, today, people, Miracle City Ministries and Partners present Altadena Rebuilding Conference. I got to enlarge it, can't you see? Bring your questions, pen and notepad, or in my case, just turn your audio recorder on. Presenters include Excel Insurance Adjusters, LA County Planning, Hope Crisis Response Network, LA County Fire Department, Mennonite Disaster Services, LA County Building and Safety, LA County Property Assessor, FEMA, ? Greenworks Construction, Neighborhood Housing Services of LA, ? I don't get that. Todd's Innovations, Southern Cal Edison Corporate, ? I guess those people were invited, but haven't confirmed, I guess. EPA, ? Army Corps of Engineers, ? Homebound, Adler Law Group, Steadfast LA. When, you ask? Saturday, August 23rd from 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. Where, you ask? 997 East Walnut Street, Pasadena, California, 2 blocks east of Lake. For more information, contact event coordinator, no name, 626-989-2281 or miraclecityministries@yahoo.com. This is actually the same day and almost same time as the block party. So pick your battles.
Yeah, as it is with most weekends, there's always some conflict. So definitely pick the thing that makes sense to you. Now, this last one I'm going to add. Let me open this right now.
Mm-hmm.
So this one is, you may question why we have it. So here, this is for the Monrovia Duarte Black Alumni Association. The folks have actually, in particular from Monrovia, have been supporting us. That's when Chris Lose was on, and they did the event at K Gym, where it was the live event. Brian got a chance to come on and talk, and they also did an event at the train station. So we want to support them, and we appreciate them helping us as well. So they actually have Jazz and R&B Festival. It also is tomorrow. It's from 6 to 10. A lot of conflict here, but a lot of good stuff going on. So you can do a little work, have a little fun. There will be live performances by Michael Higgins. Hey, that's a familiar name. We've been hearing that for a while. Place, huh? For real though, he definitely is.
Hey, that's what you do as a musician. You want to get in everywhere.
Yeah, you need all eyes on you. Kobe Cordell and Lisa Marias and Jazz Zone 1, blending jazz, funk, and R&B. So please be aware that this event is for guests aged 21 and above, with no outside food or drinks allowed, but they will be available for purchase. If you purchase general admission tickets, please bring your favorite foldable lawn chair. So the tickets are available on Eventbrite and sold at the doors. You can scan the QR code to get it. And the location is Station Square Park, which is at 1629 South Myrtle Avenue in Monrovia. So for inquiries about sponsorships or vendor opportunities, feel free to contact them. Sure, it's a little late for that because we're just showing this and it's tomorrow. But hey, if you have questions, send an email to mdbaainfo@gmail.com or go to md as in David, B as in boy, aa.org.
Now, don't forget that Jazz Zone 1 is Roscoe.
Yeah.
Jonah's dad, who
Owens'
is
dad.
an Altadena native, was here for decades. So
Really?
that's why between Michael Hankins and Jazz 1, that's the reason why I wanted to promote this, because they're two Altadena people who are trying to do things in other places, but let's support them.
Hey, why not? And you know, I'm sure there are many other things that we have that I probably missed, but like Brian shared this information, and I had popped on earlier when he was talking about not treading on my toes. I always encourage everybody to share all the information you can, because I'm not going to see everything. So you know what it is. There's a whole lot that we were able to share. If you find some other things to do, why don't you, if it's not in time to let us know, take some videos, shoot some pictures, share that information with us. Let us know how it was, you know, what value you got from it, whether it just be fun or you got some good information from it. That'd be really helpful. We might be able to focus on some others in the future when they have other events. But Toni, another great show today. Really appreciate the information that you were able to have the folks share with us. There was a question, and I'm curious, and you kind of alluded to it in your closing remarks. I'm very curious to know what different message each of the different attorney groups provide to the folks who attend, right? Obviously, the folks that we had on earlier, they had a little experience or a lot of experience in dealing with, you know, some of this stuff. So I'm wondering if some of these others that potentially could be money grabbers, not saying they are, but I wonder how much true value they're actually going to be providing, and if they're going to pressure folks to, you know, kind of go with them. And if you're hearing this and you originally planned to pressure folks, don't do it. It's not a good look. Hopefully you bring some value and provide some good information so that they can make an educated, you know, decision, just like we're trying to do with the builders, architects, and individual people that are part of the process of the rebuilding.
Yep. And then did you guys have that one for the Men of Distinction tribute luncheon that's on Sunday from 1 to 3?
Did you provide it in the chat? Because if so, I did not.
No, but Brian probably should have gotten it. I get an email from Becker Law Group, McNichols and McNichols. So it's all Eating Fire.
Yeah.
But they're having a Men of Distinction luncheon. I'm gonna put this in our internal chat, and you can go to this link. So they're saying the RSVP, but it's Sunday at 1 p.m. and okay, there it is. At the University Club. So obviously you would have to RSVP. Yeah, please feel free to bring family, friends, and neighbors who have been affected by the Eating Fire. Food and drinks will be provided. So I know Brian's probably going to show up with that one too. A taste of culture, because Men of Distinction. That's what I mean by that. Not because the food or whatever, but the Men of Distinction. And I know you'll probably try to go and, you know, and Todd Becker, who is the Becker Law Group, you know, he's a Pasadenan and grew up here and all that and practices and is still here. So because of that, Todd always sends me stuff. But
Right.
yeah, it's on North Oakland. So, and a lot of people have gone with him because he is. So that is co-sponsored by a gang of people: Beyond ADU, Creative Vision, Singleton Schreiber, McNichols and Becker, LEAP, LEAP, My Tribe Rise, ROGEE, ROGEE, Altadena, Pasadena, something. And then some other I think it says Is it after the fire? Yeah, after the fire. Then there's one that's dark on a black background that I can't see. But there are some co-sponsors for that. And yeah.
Trying to get
So that's that.
the darn slide up. For some reason, I'm not able to. Okay.
And if you see me out, look for me wearing this shirt right here so you can find me. That's what we're doing now. We're doing that.
Yeah, we will have our swag on, and ultimately, at some point nearby, we'll have it available for you to also purchase.
Soon.
I know. Marcus has asked for that.
Well, I got a shirt for Marcus too.
But yeah, so that Men of Distinction luncheon, if we could just even plop that, if people think they want to go, we could plop that.
Is that the link you just sent me?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I popped it on the screen already.
Yeah. Okay, that's cool. Oh, it's right there.
Why
Yep.
is this not?
And they can go to that atasteofculture.com, although there's hyphens in between a taste of.
Yeah, I'm just going to share my screen so they'll be able to see it.
Taste the honey.
Taste the culture. That's pretty dope, though. I like their logo with in front of the city hall. It's down at the very bottom of their website. And I only just saw the email. That's why I said, "Oh, did you guys get this?" Because I was going through my emails, multitasking, and happened to see it. That's all. So, other than that, I'm getting ready to say.
What you say? What you say?
Toodles.
Mm-hmm.
Are we done?
Are we done? Are we
done? I am.
think
That's
so.
why I said Toodles. I am. I think that was it. I think after the attorneys and the announcements, we didn't have anything else. I didn't. Did you, Brian?
No, it's Friday. You know what that means?
It could mean many
Weekend.
things. What
Right.
do you
It's the
mean this
weekend.
time?
Last day of the podcast for the week.
For the week. It's the weekend. Yeah.
Mhm. All right. Well, I'm done. I wish you guys a great weekend. Thank you again for celebrating or showing up for episode 153 and another segment of Toni Talks. We appreciate you guys.
Sure do. Take care,
Yes,
everyone.
we
Have a
do.
wonderful weekend. Toodles.
Peace.